call it premature, but I don't think Adam Gase is coming back next year. I think after a potential 1-15, 0-16 type season, he's going to be out the door. We've already looked at Jim Harbaugh and Bill Cowher, but let's take a look at some lesser-known candidates. I'm going to do this over the course of the next few days. The next one up on my list is going to be offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, Brian Daboll. Welcome to Jets Talk. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Guys, I'll be live Monday, tonight, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock for my live call-in show, and then Tuesday, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock for our Talkin' Jets panel. It's going to be me, O'Leary, Greenbean, and our special guest of the week, Richie from Jets Media, so make sure you tune into that to ask us all your Jet-related questions. But let's move on to the video today. I've already done videos on Jim Harbaugh and Bill Cowher, so if you want to check those out, I'll link those down in the description down below. But let's talk about offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, Brian Daboll. The guy's got 5 rings with New England, and he's got another one with Nick Saban in Alabama. So the guy's used to winning. The guy is coming from winning organizations. He spent a lot of time with New England. He actually kind of branched off and did his own thing. He was with the Jets for a little bit under Mangini, and then he followed Mangini from the Jets to Cleveland for 2 years. So he's kind of been around the league a little bit. It's not like he's just riding the coattails of Bill Belichick. Now, his offenses haven't been incredibly great over the course of his career, but he really hasn't had much of a quarterback to work with. When you look at the quarterbacks he has had, like, say Tom Brady, not that he was the offensive coordinator there, that was really McDaniels, but still learning under Belichick and McDaniels and, Bill O'Brien and all these other, good coaches, at least good in the roles they were with New England, it helps build your experience. And not to mention going under Saban for a year, the guy tried to sort of, follow his own path. He didn't just ride the coattails of the New England success. So he ultimately goes into Buffalo. Sean McDermott gets hired in 2017. They bring in Daboll in 2018 to groom their new franchise quarterback. And this is really the highest draft pick that Brian Daboll has been able to work with from a quarterback perspective. So Josh Allen comes in as a very raw prospect, coming from a very small school. And there's a lot of questions about his accuracy and if he's going to be able to develop into a quarterback that can compete with NFL caliber talent. And what did he do? Josh Allen has gotten better in every single season. Now, that could just be entirely on Josh Allen, but I would think the offensive playmakers and the schemes and everything that have gone around it have really been developed by Brian Daboll, and he's been a key part of this whole success. I know a lot of Bills fans, I know my guys over at Hashtag Sports don't want to see Daboll gone. A lot of those guys want to keep him on staff because of how much success Josh Allen's having. Now, when you are a good offensive coordinator, ultimately that leads to head coaching opportunities, and the Jets getting possibly Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, whoever that quarterback is, pairing him with another guy who was able to get the most out of a recent quarterback prospect in Josh Allen, I think is going to be important. Not to mention you weaken a division rival. I like the idea of taking coaches or players from division opponents because, one, they have a critical knowledge of the inner workings of that operation, and then two, you're weakening an opponent while strengthening yourself. So that's sort of where I'm at with this. Now, for me, I really like this option a lot. When you look at the Bills' offense, they are very, very smart. They use a lot of trip formations. They use a lot of crossing patterns, a lot of motion to try and tip your hand and make the job easier for the quarterback. The one thing we absolutely failed Sam Darnold in, especially with Adam Gase, we do not use motion. We do not make any pre-game adjustment, or not pre-game, pre-snap adjustments. Like, how often do you see Sam go to the line and try to call an audible or try to switch out of a play? It just doesn't happen. Adam Gase does not run that style of offense. So from a quarterback perspective, it is very much beneficial to have this type of offense built around your new quarterback. It's going to cater to the strengths, and it's also going to cater to some of the things that just make your life easier. If you have motion coming across the offensive line, you're going to know if the defense is in man coverage or zone coverage. So you have an idea of where that ball is supposed to go before you even have to snap the ball and drop into your drop back. So if you have some of those little keys, it makes the offense a lot easier. Now, what do we do? If we get this guy, just look at him. That nice shiny bald head, he's basically Joe Douglas 2.0. You want a football guy. This is a football guy. He's been around the league forever. He's going to be 46 this year, and he is just itching at the opportunity I think, to become a head coach. So does Brian Daboll come out of Buffalo to do this? Now, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. He's a New York guy. He's from Rochester, born in Canada, but mainly a Rochester guy. So I think he likes the Bills and that whole atmosphere that they got going on up there. But I think he does want to take the next step in his career path. So head coach, he's going to be a popular name this year. Any team that's looking for a quarterback early in the draft probably going to look at considering him based on the offensive numbers he's been able to produce the last 3 years. Now, he did coach Jalen Hurts at Alabama in the 1 year he was there, so the Philly connection, if Doug Peterson is out, I could see Daboll being attractive in that spot there if they want to try and groom him as much as possible. But I would like for the Jets to look this route. I know it's not a head coach. I've kind of harped on I want a guy to be a CEO of the team, but Daboll is a guy that he started as a defensive coaching assistant. He's worked with wide receivers, quarterbacks, tight ends. He's been all over the offensive side of the ball and a little bit for the defensive side. So I think the guy has a well-rounded personality, and to take the little bits and pieces that you've learned from your entire coaching career. And at this point, being under McDermott in Buffalo, that is part of the Andy Reid coaching tree. So you have Belichick's coaching tree, Andy Reid's coaching tree. He was under Crennel's, for whatever coaching tree he's got. And then he's under Saban for a year. So he's been able to pick a lot of brains over the course of his career, and I think that will bode well in his time as a head coach. I do think you're going to need to surround this team with talent. The Bills' offense does not have... They have some big guys, but most of it is a lot of crossing routes. Diggs is an incredible route runner. You look at how he just torched the Steelers last night, and between all the different types of crossing routes and motions and everything like that, I think he can get the most out of our players. And heck, I like Herndon and Griffin, and we've just been totally void of tight end talent this entire season and play calls. I think we didn't score a touchdown until, was it the Raider game or maybe the game before the Raider game, whatever game that was. Way too long for a tight end to actually get involved. And this guy has been a tight ends coach. So maybe we can actually reclaim Herndon and Griffin, and maybe we don't necessarily need to spend a high pick on a tight end coming out this year. But guys, those are my brief thoughts on Brian Daboll. What do you think of him as a coaching hire down below in the comments? Let me know. Do you want him? Do you want someone else? Who do you want me to talk about in my next video? We'll kind of go through the whole gauntlet of coaching staff. So we'll see. Guys, that's all for me today. My name's Ryan. I've been your pilot today, and as always, go Jets.